Welcome to Table Flop. My name is Clay. I have Ed with me. What's up, Ed?
How's it going?
That's all right. It's going pretty good. We're talking about RPGs just not 20 seconds ago. And we're talking about our favorite video game RPGs, which is going to lead into a lot of tabletop talking. So let's get into it. You said, you were asking me what was my favorite RPG of all time. And I it's going to take me a while to actually honestly answer you.
Yeah.
There's so many, and I didn't know that we were talking video games as well.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
D&D.
There's so many to choose
Or
from.
the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
Curse of Strahd. I don't know. It really depends. But you answer your own question first.
Yeah, because we're going into video games and whatnot, I have to put my money on Tyranny, which is a sort of a new CRPG that came out probably late last year, early this year. I can't really remember. And the premise is you start off as a bad guy. What's so cool about it is that character creation, which in most games for me lasts like 5 minutes, I spent about 2 hours of character creation in this game. And character creation isn't customizing a character in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the customization is like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But the rest of the creation is doing the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Picking because you're essentially like one of the generals of this war, and during that character creation, you're picking decisions that you as a general made throughout
This sounds
this world.
so familiar.
And it's so dope. And it starts, and right when you jump in, the decisions you make immediately affect you.
You're gonna show the picture, and I'm gonna be like, oh, "That's what."
Yeah.
Because he plays something. My roommate plays something very similar to that. Was it Dynasty something with the samurai general and?
Oh no, this isn't that. This is like
diplomacy bar.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Samurai Warriors. No, this this is like Baldur's Gate sort of type of gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and it's there's so much dialogue in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so well paced. Music is perfect. Voice acting is great. I thought a lot of people complained. I really thought it was good.
Yep.
And there's a lot of reading, but because the writing was so well done,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't even notice that. I was just like, I remember being at work and being like, I'm excited to come home and play this video game. Like, and that hasn't happened since I beat that game. Like,
Yeah.
I think that game sort of might have ruined RPGs for me because it was so good that I'm just like, I can't think of any other games that have a story that's that compelling for me.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm so bad with video games. Like, I really do not spend that much time. Like, people pick up an RPG and spend like 15 hours in that same day. I'll buy a new video game and I'll spend like 2 hours, 3 hours on it.
Yeah.
Just because it's very hard for me to like, I'll get too into it. And I have things to do.
No, that's the thing. That's what happened to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was in. My buddy was like asking me, like, "Yo, Ed, are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go home and play this right now." Yeah, I was like, I'm just, I got things to do.
I got things and stuff.
Yeah, like Rick.
Yeah, Rick Grimes.
He's like,
oh,
yeah.
please show that meme with
God,
Rick Grimes going
yeah.
things and stuff.
I've got to find it.
I have a picture that I'm going to send you, which is I was at Target and they had little cups, like little drawers for their like a toothbrush and things like that.
Yeah.
But right together, someone already stacked them together. It said things and stuff.
Perfect. I already know.
It was like salt and pepper color.
It's my favorite ice cream flavor. That was
And I just sent my picture to my friend going, Rick Grimes.
God. That RPG did, like, I lost a good 2 weeks because I probably took me 2 to 3 weeks to beat it. In 2 to 3 weeks, I put 40 hours. Mm-hmm. Like, there's legit a decision whether or not to kill a baby in that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even joking, but it's that decision was a hard decision to make, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because it's, just give a little background, because there are choices.
Was that like Sophie's Choice is what I'm thinking of?
Spoiler alert, in that decision, it's like you either kill the baby and you relieve a curse on an entire country that's going to kill millions of people.
Yep.
Or you kill the baby, or you let the baby live.
Right.
And that curse is going to taint the whole land for the rest of eternity.
Jeez. That reminds me. That leads me into one of my favorite games of all time, The Last of Us.
Ooh.
When Joel he builds this relationship with what's the girl's name? You're gonna kill me.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you because I don't remember either.
Yeah, show her face.
Yeah.
But you know who I'm talking about, Ellie. There we go.
Ellie. Yeah, Ellie. Yeah.
Yep,
How
recovered.
do we not? Yeah. How do
Soft
we not know
recovery.
that?
But she holds like the blood that's immune to the disease, the mushroom head people, and as metal as a mushroom head zombie apocalypse is, they're like, yeah, well, we can save everybody, cure them, but we need to extract her brain tissue or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They have her on a bed. She doesn't really have an opinion in the matter. It's up to you as Joel. And of course, Joel is like, that's my family.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose pretty much a second daughter. And he goes and kills everybody and takes her and lies to her at the very end.
Yep.
Bam! Perfect way to end a game.
That game.
Oh, it's so good.
I remember beating that at like 2:00 in the morning when you're emotionally drained at 2:00 in the morning because you're just like you're tired anyways.
The first
and did you see that?
2 minutes makes you cry.
Oh
You
my
are not a
gosh.
human if you do not cry at The Last
Actually,
of Us.
I sat through the first 2 minutes with my stepmother who just gave birth.
Oh no!
And I didn't know about it.
Oh no!
So she just had a kid. So like I'm talking about like she just got like 2 days ago she got out of the hospital. She's still got all that going on and playing this game because I was like, oh, we just got it.
Yep.
And I actually stayed away from the spoilers the whole time. Did not follow it.
Mm-hmm.
Got this game about 6-8 months after it came out, and I was not allowed to play that game.
Beautiful.
in front of her.
Well, she missed the point with the giraffe. Like that's one of the best parts in the game.
Yeah, but that's sort of at
when
the
you're in
end.
the skyline.
It was more like that scene came up and I hit the PSN button and just got to the homepage and was like,
yeah.
I was like,
God.
I'm just gonna put in Injustice and just pretend that never happened.
Yeah,
okay?
because the death of Lois isn't that bad in comparison.
not even.
Oh yeah, Superman. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
top 5 RPGs according to IGN. What do you think they are, if you're going to call them?
I would say Knights of the Republic is gonna be on there.
Mm-hmm.
RPGs. I don't know. Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
World of Warcraft. Shadow of Colossus.
You were 2 for 3.
Oh.
Or 2 for 5.
Okay. I don't know. That's all I got.
Wait. I think you're 3 for 5. Did you say Baldur's Gate?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I
Well,
probably
Baldur's
would've
Gate's
said-
on there. Number 5, World of Warcraft.
Okay. I mean,
Since 2004.
yeah.
It's still going. Number 4, Pokemon Yellow.
Okay, that's the only one
I
I
have
owned.
that.
That's the only one I owned.
Now, there is an RPG I have played.
That's the
Whoa.
story I know from the,
well, they're
the back
counting
of my
Dark
head.
Souls on this list, too, so I guess.
Okay. They're probably just doing it based on everything's story and
There's choices in Dark Souls. You can let certain people die, and you can
does it really
go ahead and
does it really affect
kill
the
people.
story,
Yeah, it does.
like the ending and all that?
Really weird parts. It doesn't give much in terms of story. It's there, the lore's there,
Yeah.
but it leaves it open for people on Reddit to just like
Yeah, take it apart.
take it apart, talk to
Yeah.
each other
'Cause
about certain things.
Yeah, I've seen a dude on YouTube like tell the story and
Yeah, you're like an
'Cause-
outside adventurer looking in.
yeah.
Like you're trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, Baldur's Gate 2: Shadows of Ammon.
And
I don't
oh,
know
dude, that was my
this.
game. Me and my brother played
Looks like Diablo.
that. It pretty much is. And I think that's the one where you beat it
Mhm.
on, and then you unlock this gladiator mode, and then you beat that, and then you get to play as Drist,
That's cool.
and you actually get his 2 swords, and you just like.
That's
you know,
amazing.
Yeah.
You get a Black Panther. Or
No, you just-
Jaguar.
One or the other. I'm not saying any because
Yeah.
it's like I'm not gonna get destroyed on the internet.
Internet.
Yeah.
Number 2, Final Fantasy 6. I thought it would be 7 because 7's the one I played.
7's the one with Sephiroth, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, the only ones I've beaten is number 1 and number 2. But by number 2, I mean the one with like Furion, not because Japanese releases and US releases are weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's one of the only games I've spent like 10 hours one day on. Was
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7. And I'm still looking forward to that remake whenever that decides to come out.
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I'm holding it. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Number 1 on IGN.
No.
I don't always agree with IGN's lists, but in Game Informer, it was like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They had their list printed out, and it was page by page.
Yeah.
For the most part, especially top 10. They give whole sections out. It might not have been IGN now that I think about it. I think it was maybe just Game Informer, but it was Skyrim is number 1. But its own page was Dungeons and Dragons, and it had a whole history behind it. And
I can see Skyrim because that gets so many people into RPGs, and a lot of people were like, thought dragons and stuff like that was just like that's just nerd stuff, and it sort of made like fantasy mainstream. Oblivion of course was out, but like it wasn't to the level of the Dragonborn, having Fus Roda and that epic theme song. I think it just helped make fantasy mainstream again, and
they kind of help each other.
Skyrim
brought more people to play with other people, or not other people online. I don't think it's online, is it?
No, but it brought people into like just looking the stuff up and
hunting
trying
down dragons.
Probably a lot of people play Elder Scrolls Online, or I'm sure eventually a Elder Scrolls tabletop game is gonna come out, and people are probably gonna buy that. Like people who bought the Dark Souls tabletop. I know a guy in my my old job that he was in the Kickstarter, like funded it, and he played that literally day one. And it was his first ever tabletop.
Yeah.
That's not Monopoly, Risk, or Life.
Oh, guys, definitely. If you got some free time, look on Kickstarter. It'll restore your faith in humanity sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many projects that are being funded from just people, sharing that information, getting word out.
Yep.
Like, I've had like my personal goals, but if other people took investment in those goals to try to make it possible, and raise like what, $2 to $8 million, and
or sometimes it's just like $2,000,
That's insanity.
And 9 times out of 10, those are the games that get big. Cards Against Humanity was a small Kickstarter game, I think.
Oh yeah.
And like really small, and then they ended up getting obnoxious amounts of money.
I think the only one I actually donated to for Kickstarter, because I didn't really know what Kickstarter was until somebody told me. This is like when it first started coming out. It was Super Troopers 2 hype.
Yeah.
Now listen, Meow. I wanted to see Super Troopers 2 since I first saw it, and then I saw the little teaser thing where they were like, "Oh, we're on Kickstarter," and then I had to.
Yeah,
I put $10 towards it, and I'm hoping that movie's good.
Yeah, I put $60 towards a video game, and that was back in like 2012.
Yeah.
2013. It hasn't come out yet. But on the bright side, it's still the most funded Kickstarter project to this date, and it's still getting funding. It's at like $110 million.
Jesus.
It's a game called Star Citizen. It's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be able to command a carrier.
Mm-hmm.
In that carrier, you can get off. There's like 40 other players doing different jobs on that carrier. You can run down to the hangar bay, get in a fighter ship, fly, fight other things, go off, land in the enemy carrier, which these are all players, by the way. Yeah. You land in an enemy carrier, you get off, and you've got a gun, and you can go first-person shooter. Then you can land on a planet, own a bar or whatever, It's supposed to be like a super immersive, like EVE Online, but just you pay once, you have the game. So,
Grog's going to come out with his own beer in that brewery, and it's going to be called Grogbrow. Grogbrow.
Yeah.
It's the best. Now, moving on from RPGs, which, by the way, I would say my favorite RPGs would be StarCraft or Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say World of Warcraft because that's the only RPG, but I never really played Warcraft.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft.
Well, I mean, I'd count Warcraft
story.
because, I mean, half the story mode's just you're playing as one dude with like a couple extra units, So I'd count that as RPG.
Yeah, you just get to crawl around, explore all the terrain, do all that, but that's all well and good. But I played back in the day when it was back on the old Macintosh.
Yeah.
Like the old 98 Macintosh.
Yeah.
Of Orcs and Humans. That was my game. Where you actually build walls and like a barracks and your farms and get your food up. And it got me into strategy from a really young age. And I didn't know that orcs were even really jerks until I saw Lord of the Rings, and that was well after Warcraft 2 came out.
Yeah.
So Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness, and what was it, The Gate of Chaos or something along those lines.
Tides of Darkness.
Tides of Darkness.
Yeah, Tides of Darkness was it.
And then you can start building ships and things like that. But I got really like hardcore into that story.
Yeah.
And then people had to fill me in what happened after Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
And the Lich King and everything.
Yeah, the whole like expansions and.
Oh yeah. Again, I just don't have time to play, but that's one of my favorite lores.
Yeah.
In video games.
It's definitely like, and it's a lot of time when it comes to stuff like games and fantasy genres that big. Mm-hmm. It's almost intimidating and get into it, but once you're in it, once you get like initial basis, you just get. It's a deep and dark hole where you're like, what is this or what is that, and you just start like, in 30 minutes of Googling, and then it turns to like 12, and it's 12 o'clock at night, and you have work in 3 hours. So at least that
in high school.
Yeah, that happens. That happened like literally Sunday.
Yeah.
So for me, but yeah, but
speaking of not getting away from a computer, Sylvanas Windrunner.
Of course.
She's my waifu in video games. But then we bring this up because we always talk about like Dungeons and Dragons and other strategy kind of games, and we're actually going to be talking about our favorite kind of tabletop games or RPGs that you've actually played here, minusing Dungeons and Dragons because we play that all the time.
Of course.
It's really hard to beat. I know that. But
it's really hard.
We play other games. We play like Dead by Daylight. We play Battle Wizards.
Oh yeah,
super fun. Super Fight. Cards Against Humanity. Anything. We've played them here at Table Flop. We've taken a lot of pictures. We had a few really old videos and podcasts back in the day. But I want to see what your favorite games were so far. And maybe what you'd want to play that we haven't played yet.
My favorite games. First time I played Munchkin was here, which I think as just a nice game, just to warm up. Have everyone has a good time with that, or even to wind down with that game. I think
yes,
that's a great game. Like because we used to do it where we'd come in, and now it's like we come in, we get straight into business with D&D, but. Back we used to play like 5 other board games, and D&D would be like the cherry on top. But
Munchkin.
And Munchkin was one of the go-tos that I personally loved.
Dicks.
And I love to backstab people and have people go against me. It's like one of my passions in life. And
you get really into the fact that you're about to backstab somebody really early.
Yeah, I get
round 1 hype.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to draw first blood, and
you're a male Eagle Knight. Now you're a female witch.
Yeah, essentially.
Because that fucks your whole hand up.
Yep.
And that's also a jumping off. That actually makes fun of D&D.
Yeah.
Because instead of going through the lore and actually sitting down, it's like a quick game of, I'm just going to bust in through this door. So, I'm going to kick open the door. I'm going to fight what's ever in it. Epic loot. And someone's most likely going to trip me on the way in.
Yeah.
And there's so many versions of it. It's like a really highly successful game. And for a really good reason.
We have the Pathfinder version, so it's like sort of related. And then another one I would have to say is definitely DC deck building. We have the Forever Evil.
Oh yeah.
Version, and that game I get to play as like Reverse Flash, or I'm trying to think. I always get Black Manta for some reason, and I love I think we played it. I've played it with you guys about 4 or 5 times, and I've gotten Black Manta at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And I just
we have a rule too, which I don't know. I don't remember the last hero or villain that you played as. But if you get the same one...
I've never heard of that rule. I don't know what you're talking
twice,
about.
You have to get a new one. Because it changes up your whole strategy.
I've never heard of that rule.
Ed.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've only played them once.
Did you play the Lord of the Wings?
No, I haven't.
Lord of the Wings? What the fuck? Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry.
I have yet to give that one a go yet. but
Oh, it's good.
yeah.
You know, when you have the path, so basically everybody has their really dinky starter deck full of punches and kicks, and that lets you buy some cards to shuffle in your deck and keep shuffling. On the path is the cards that you can choose from, including kicks, or you want to take on the boss early, and then you just can't take on the boss because you're not high enough level. But instead of getting attacked from the other players and the main bad guy on the top of the villain deck or the hero deck, instead you get attacked by the Orkai constantly. Like it's constantly, they're coming out.
That's pretty cool.
The powerful troop numbers. There's an impossible difficulty.
Wait, you can actually change the difficulty based on how you want to play?
Yeah, we have Fellowship of the Ring, so it's the first one.
Okay.
So it deals with all those movies monsters.
Yeah.
And Lurtz has to be on the bottom because he's the last bad guy in the movie.
Yep.
And you know what happens when Lurtz comes out?
When someone's gonna die?
Someone dies. And they get kicked out of the game.
Dang.
Very last boss. So you don't get kicked out early, so it's not too big of a bummer. But if you don't avoid it, you're out.
Yeah. So what would you say is your favorite game that you played here? Besides D&D, of course.
I played a lot of games back in the day. I played every deck building, pretty much. Except for the Street Fighter, which is supposed to be really good. So I played the Attack on Titan deck building. Cryptozoic games are really fun. But I would have to say one of my favorite memories, and I love it so much, was X-Wing Assault.
Yeah.
It's a strategy game.
I really want to try that one.
There's teams in X-Wing Assault. We didn't know what we were doing the first time we played that, I'll be honest. Because we got a core set and a couple of extra ships. I was like, yeah, if you get the core set, I'll get the Millennium Falcon. Because, honestly...
That's the Millennium Falcon?
The Millennium Falcon.
Of course.
So we brought it over to a friend's house, started unpackaging. And it's a guy that does not play any kind of tabletop games. I mean, we were bonding by his old PlayStation 2 in his living room.
Yeah.
That had like Battlefront 2 and Most Wanted on it.
That's okay.
So we were bonding by that, but we all went to Tower Games, came back with X-Wing Assault stuff, and X-Wing Assault, we set it all up, and we were on the kind of side table, and we all had a drink in our hands, and then we're looking at the kind of like the little cutout things with the asteroids. Mm-hmm. Instead of asteroids, we used Ritz crackers. So in case,
I mean, I think
we put a lot of them on the table, and if one of them died, we slammed that table and broke it, or we ate it.
That's
and it was delicious. I mean, the X-Wing doesn't say Ritz crackers in the freaking rule book.
It doesn't say not to use it.
But it doesn't say not to use it. It doesn't say I'm not hungry while playing.
Whoa, this asteroid just disappeared. What a shame.
They disappeared pretty fast. We couldn't get to each other. We're just all going around, and it's like little movement things. And if you hit them, you take certain little points of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was telling you a while ago that that's one game I do want to end up trying.
Yeah.
Future, you know.
Because you played the kind of like the big brother of it.
Yeah, or the little brother.
Yeah, a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
Little brother? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Whatever. This is Star Wars Armada. Armada and Assault kind of get mixed up. X-Wing goes into each ship individually, like a bigger version of it. It can be like an X-Wing or the Slave One, Boba Fett ship.
Yeah, like an X-Wing will be an X-Wing in X-Wing will be the size of like half a Coke can, and then or maybe a little bit bigger, and then an X-Wing in Armada will be the size of maybe a D6.
Yeah.
so it's like, but in Armada it seems like you have so much more to manage, but in X-Wing it seems like there's so much more attention to detail in it, and that's what sort of I like having smaller units
and Armada seems big. It does.
Yeah.
But it's only 6 rounds. And when you're just learning, it's a kind of a huge learning curve. Mm-hmm. But once you start moving and understanding that Armada and X-Wing are 2 separate games, then you're going to start to have fun with either.
Yeah. Because
you're like, well, what's the point? Why don't we just stick with one? Because they look similar. They even have the similar kind of movement little tokens, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
The play style, we were playing X-Wing first, and then we played Armada, and I kind of understood it. But one of the players we were going against was still kind of moving as if we were playing X-Wing.
Yeah.
So he seems like really ballsy. Like he has like Jamie Lannister sized cojones.
Yeah. And he's running straight.
He's running straight at us, and
yeah.
we both have Imperial Star Destroyers.
Yep.
So yeah, it's not gonna work out in his favor. So he died pretty early. But they also have what I haven't seen in X-Wing. I could be wrong, but Armada has a whole book or a box full of campaign.
Yeah, we did
missions.
see. Yeah, that looked really cool. Like a really cool concept to throw in there.
And everybody has them.
Yeah.
So if in case you want to actually play the campaign, you can do certain missions in it. It's
I think
not just
next time if we do play
conquer.
it, we shouldn't play at 11 o'clock at night.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's very true. And I had to get up super early the next morning. I had to get up at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that was.
So I was struggling to. You saw me. I was on the floor.
You were literally lying down on a medicine ball, like trying to like debating whether or not to go to bed. But once you left, actually, we started going pretty smooth. We didn't end up finishing the game, but we ended up just
You had an entire fleet to do stuff with.
Yeah, but we still did it in turns, like halvesies.
Mm-hmm.
But we ended up moving pretty quick once I got a hang of it.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of potential in it.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I definitely want to probably give it another shot, but rather go with X-Wing just because.
X-Wing.
I love like having small tactical battles rather than the big strategic thing. Because
right.
I think that's what like grand strategy is Armada, tactics is X-Wing. In my opinion, that's what it seems like.
We are the epitome of strategy gamers. We'll play Super Fight and everything for fun.
Yeah.
But we secretly look for any kind of strategy game. So what I'm most excited for is kind of a flip on that is a cooperative strategy game. Something that challenges us. We played Forbidden Desert and it has some challenges, but we just kind of luck out every time we play it.
Yeah.
Weirdly. But what I would want to play is something along the lines of Pandemic.
Okay.
Which is basically Risk versus one person, and that person is the virus of whatever disease or virus that's taken over the world, and we all have one peg.
Okay.
So, but we're all different people. Like one's a doctor, one's a scientist, one's a traveler, one's an agent. Like, they're all working together to kind of put each other in different locations to take this virus. Could be zombies. It could be West Nile virus. It could be man bun virus. You don't know.
Yeah.
Like it could be anything. And it's all different colors inside. That or Mysterium.
Mysterium?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Mysterium is another cooperative game that you guys all try to figure out a mystery, kind of like Clue.
Okay.
But there's one person that's not talking to any of you. And they're giving you clues of pictures of tiles. Mm-hmm. And they're handing out pictures, and you're trying to guess what the murder and thing would be.
Okay.
And
that sounds pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. And the more you get into it, the more further or closer that you can get to the actual thing that's going to happen.
That sort of ties into, like what's the, because we were talking about this earlier too, what's a tabletop that you're excited for that has either come out or is coming out that you want to try, just to give it a go at,
Yeah. I'm always late in the game. I'm never, I'm not one of those people that'll see a game and just jump right in it. I want to play games that have come out and that have paved the way for tabletop games. Mm-hmm. And I really want to try those. Those are like the granddaddies. So we've played a few of them, but we still haven't played things like Pandemic, Codenames.
Yeah.
Mysterium. That one's relatively new, but it's kind of it's definitely a cooperative game, but it's got one person not talking at all.
Yeah.
So you guys kind of have to mentally evaluate like what you as friends are kind of like thinking about.
Yeah, you gotta get that telepathy.
Yeah. Like I'm just looking at you like
what is he thinking of? And I'm just thinking of like Cheez-Its or like Ritz crackers.
I have fingers on my temples right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. And lastly, before we guys leave, we have a great question about dream gaming rooms.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were on Reddit. And we kind of took a look at a few of them, and they kind of go anything from really cheap to like being on a budget to anywhere in the.
Yeah, I mean there was some really dope ones, like some like dudes spending thousands of dollars, in their basement gaming room, and then there's, the table we saw that's,
First of all, I want a basement. I have romantic thoughts about owning a basement.
Yeah, they don't have basements for you.
Just so I can remodel it. Like ever since seeing like Foreman's Basement or that old Weezer song, in my garage, just that kind of area where it's just yours. Man cave, I guess it's called a man cave.
Yeah, basements are pretty nice. I mean, it's like, you get away from everyone. No one really, And the one, actually, when I lived in Chicago for a little bit, we had a basement. It was carpeted. I actually I lived down there. There's like 2 rooms. There's like a living room and there's a bedroom in there. Mm-hmm. Had my bed, it was really nice.
Yeah.
But I could really see having a game room down there, tabletop, maybe like, a whole shelf of just board games, a TV.
You don't know you could be living with at the time. You could be dating, married, and have, priorities upstairs, but you deserve some time to yourself. And with the boys coming over,
Saturdays are for the boys.
They come down to the basement. That's where the drinking. That's where all the mess will be. So you don't have to.
So no one has to deal with you.
Exactly.
You can laugh because it's it's normally stone or like people live on the second floor. You're down on the -1 floor.
Yeah. And, depending on the basement that you go to, the people in there could already be stone. So
it's
know you're hanging out with, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely like. I don't know. A main key thing, though, for me when it comes to a dream gaming room is the table. I think, I think the table we're actually on right now, it's just, I think it'd be pretty perfect. Like, not, it's not a 3D or light up LED table, but it's...
I was just looking at an LED
It's sort of a big round table.
Yep.
And it has enough to sit our group that we play with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the perfect size for me.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Depends
feel like
on you, yeah.
I feel like this table would be perfect. Now, of course,
this is a round table.
Yeah.
Some people prefer square. Some people prefer rectangles. The person that bought this table, my roommate, wanted everybody to be equal. They didn't want to be shelled out. Even the DM, the dungeon master for our D&D guild. But this one didn't have any lights or anything like that. I do appreciate a table with freaking a digital map of everything. But no, you can make some of these tables for $150, and I've showed some freaking links to it. Some people have designed these awesome tables with like felt insides, things where it kind of dips in the middle so you can't lose any of your pieces. That's a big deal for me, especially when your drunk friends walk in and they want to play games. Things end up on the table. I'll find like a dead wizard card 6 months after our Halloween party.
Well, maybe you shouldn't leave it out!
I mean, right? So, like, honestly, like this table, like, I mean, we leave stuff here on the table like half the time.
Yeah,
a lot of different cards and board games. But I think it's really good size.
Don't you lock the door on me? That's the roommate. He's great. No, we were all playing wizard cards, and I just found like one token. I'm like, oh, good thing I found that. But yeah, just that felt where cards can't just go flying across the table.
Yeah.
Or they had even like little bottle caps, or bottle openers.
Oh shit! Yeah, that'd be really
built into
nice.
it.
Yeah.
This guy thought of everything, man. I don't care. As long as it's open, as long as you don't have to constantly sneak around people. Because I'm looking at this one by Black Magic Craft. and it's a complete open, plan. It's got a whole workshop table behind him for like minis and paints and everything. A whole bookshelf over there in the other corner, books, minis, a whole lot of work that I would want to do. I'm just kind of lazy.
Yeah, and that also looks like a lot of money.
Yeah, it does look like a lot of money, but there are cheap ways to do that. Yeah. But this guy obviously cares a lot about his gaming table.
You could start small too,
Yeah.
Just do one thing at a time, do the table legs today, this payday, one table leg.
You were gonna do the table legs like 3 years ago, Ed.
Well, I mean, money's tight. Okay. Yeah.
So far, you've bought in paint.
It's a start. You got to start somewhere, Rocky didn't make it in one movie. It took him like 2 to beat Apollo Creed. So,
the first one was Apollo Creed, right?
Yep, and the second one.
And the second one.
The second one was the rematch.
And the third one was Ivan Drago.
No, third one was Mr. T.
Was it really?
Yeah, fourth one's Ivan Drago.
And Ivan Drago kills Apollo Creed.
Yes. And the third one, Mr. T kills Mickey.
Yeah.
Because he's like pushes Mickey and Mickey has a heart attack. that's a legit plot.
Wait, hold on. Then where is Hollywood Hogan? Where's the Hogs?
Hogs is, I want to say
he does the leg drop.
That's
on
the third. That's
Balboa.
the third or the fourth one. I'm pretty sure it's the third.
He wasn't
one.
the main bad guy.
No, that's like it's lit.
So it just happens. At one
Hulk
point
Hogan
in his
has
career?
like 40 seconds of screen time because it's like they do the leg drop, Rocky wins, and then they go bowling.
Okay,
and
cards
like,
on the table. I haven't seen all the Rockies.
Okay.
I know certain points in the Rocky movies.
I've seen all of them enough times where I'm pretty sure I can mouth the words of the third one.
The Mr. T one?
Yes. That's probably like obviously the Ivan Drago one's my favorite Rocky 4, but the Mr. T one, I just watched that one for some reason so many times.
Dolph Lundgren is amazing.
Of course.
He's got that montage where he's just like
juicing
he's
up
basically
and like,
a cyborg. He's like a tan, fleshy cyborg.
It's crazy. He's a nuclear physicist.
Yeah.
It's like world renowned.
Oh yeah, it's no shit. In Expendables, they
joke
touch on
about it, but it's like it's real. Like this man is actually like Nobel Peace Prize level of genius.
You'll be surprised. You know what Jack Black's parents do?
No.
You know how people say that it's not rocket science. They're actual rocket scientists.
God damn it.
The dude went to like win like a $500,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
His dad
for charity. Oh, he did. Jack Black.
What?
Jack Black's crazy intelligent.
Huh.
It makes sense. It's hereditary. He just
you get smart parents, you become smart. You get dumb parents, just give up.
Yeah. Or it skips your generation. You go, fuck.
You're like the runt in the family. They're like, don't talk to that one. And you're just sitting there like
I had a shot.
Like they decide like when they have the blocks with the circle and the square, and you're like, if the kid doesn't put the circle on the right one, it's just like he's a failure.
It hovers over the star one. You're like, it's going. No, you're chewing on the block.
Yep.
Damn it.
Yep. We got another one. They have like a furnace. They just toss the kid into.
Yeah. One person's still struggling with the square block, and another kid is building like a whole Death Star out of Legos.
Yeah, with the actual working reactor.
Without the manual.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Yeah, without the manual. Like,
they can destroy mailboxes from far away.
They to test the children, they like give them IKEA furniture, but they take away the pictures. It's just like do it. But they like
while the other kid's in the ball pit.
Yeah, the other
kid's he hurt himself.
He's eating like an eraser.
He found it. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. He found it at the bottom of the ball pit. Don't eat that.
It's been there for like It's been there since like the Goonies came out. It's like just a weird crusty yellow now.
It's the same kid from the Goonies.
We've definitely gotten off track.
Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, before we fall into an infinite vortex of movie references and Rocky knowledge, I guess.
Yeah.
We're going to call this week's podcast right here. Next week, we're going to talk about some really cool stuff.
Yep.
Our friend Steve's going to stop by, and we're going to talk about our Dungeons and Dragons Heronvale finale, which you guys just experienced, and we'll go into that next week.
Yeah, super awesome.
Yeah.
Super like.
You're spoiling it already.
One of the best sessions, if
my
not
God.
the.
Shut up. Anyway, next week.
Yep.
Next week, we can't wait to podcast. Love you guys. Have fun this week, and we will hit you up on Wednesday.
Yep.